चल जाओ चल।
नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ ॐ Atmabodha is not to be undervalued. Maybe it is taught in the first 3 or 4 months of, let us say, a 2 year Vedanta program. For it is such a text that beginners also are able to relate to it. But that doesn't make it a very simple, or it doesn't make it a text which has no depth. There is a lot of depth to which one can go. So let me make an appeal that even though the verses present one after another a whole lot of basic concepts of the Vedanta with analogies, metaphors, examples, and everything looks, aha, I got it. It's so nice, it's so simple, and so on. Even though it is so, there is room for deeper contemplation. There is room for asking ourselves what this shloka is saying may be simple, but does it mean that I have realized it? What is coming in the way? What is coming between a simple teaching and my being able to practice it? If it were truly simple, I should be able to practice it right away. That means many of these teachings are deceptively simple. We covered 6 verses in the last 3 classes. Today, this evening in India, and this Friday morning in the West, we are taking up the fourth session, the fourth class on Atma Bodha. And what I said a while ago applies so well to the upcoming seventh shloka. The seventh shloka is at once very well known and quite controversial also. Let me read the seventh shloka. तावत् सत्यं जगद्भाति शुक्तिका रजतं यथा यावन्न ज्ञायते ब्रह्म सर्वाधिष्ठानमद्वयम्. Advaita Vedanta says, when you realize your true nature, which is not different from realizing Brahman, the one substrate for the entire universe spread across space and time, that realization will bring about such a sea change in your outlook. The very same world which was earlier looking so real, it was disturbing you. At times it was giving you such pleasure, at times causing fear, at times causing anxiety of some kind or the other. That very same world becomes as though unreal. This verse here says, giving the example of a certain seashell that shines like silver, and therefore people mistake it for silver. Once in a while, a man may go grab it and congratulate himself. Wow, I'm lucky. I found a piece of silver on the roadside. Easily, it will get me so much money. Wow. But after he slowly examines it, he says, I got fooled. This is just a seashell having no value. Such seashell is called Shuktika. The Shuktika, the seashell that shines like silver but is not silver, is mistaken for silver, Rajatam. Shuktika Rajatam Yatha. This is an analogy for this world of lots of temptations with our senses, with our mind, with our thinking intellect. We are prone to all the time evaluate things. A friend comes in a Mercedes or a BMW to visit us. Even as he parks his car, he says, wow, he has bought this now. Earlier he had a cheaper car. Looks like he is doing so well. People's ornaments or qualifications. Somebody says, our daughter-in-law has a PhD from Harvard University. And we say, we may not express it very openly, we are very clever people. We may outwardly say, oh, is that so? We are so glad to know that. Your daughter-in-law is so qualified. We are so happy to know that. Inside, we may be envious. Nobody in our family has gone that far. All this is the silver that is seen upon the seashell, which is called the mother of pearl. That particular seashell, I believe, is called the mother of pearl. Whatever its name may be, it may have its own scientific name too. But silver attracts one so much. Moment one knows it is not silver, it is just a seashell, everything dissolves away. Even before self realization, people having a high degree of dispassion, detachment, a high degree of such wisdom, where a thousand things of the world which attract everybody else do not have any impact on this person. In the second chapter of the Gita, it is said, what is night to everybody is day for the enlightened one. And what is day for them is night for this person. A mystical, puzzling shloka in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. When it is night for all and therefore they sleep, the illumined person stays awake. It is day for him. What is meant is through that poetic, mystical language, where everybody else sleeps, which means everybody else doesn't care for it. Everybody else do not know the value of something. That is, the supreme truth means nothing to worldly people. The illumined person is awake to it. Sometimes in the Vedanta, you may replace the word truth or ultimate reality with God. Worldly people have no time for God. Even when they go to a temple and stand before a Shivalinga, they may not be able to really think lovingly of God. They may see the priest and the gold chain that the priest is wearing, and they may wonder, oh, when the priest was new last year, he didn't have any gold on him. Within a year, he has gold upon him. Okay. So, worldly people have no feeling for Shiva, the Shivalinga, for God. But a bhakta comes there, and at the sight of the Shivalinga, he goes into ecstasy. So, keep it simple. What attracts worldly people has no impact on the wise person, and where the wise person revels is rejoicing. Such a thing means nothing to worldly people. The scenario is very similar. Shuktika rajatam yatha satyam bhati. The mistaken silver seems to be very real. This vast world appears to be very real. But as the second half of the shloka rightly says, yavat na nayate brahma. Nayate, na janati means to know. And here it is passive voice. As long as Brahma is not known, that means as long as you do not know Brahma, you know how the active voice, passive voice operate. You watch a movie is watched by you. Your daughter eats ice cream is eaten by your daughter. So in an English class, the teacher asked, it seems, what is the passive voice of I made a mistake? And a boy got up and said, very simple, sir. The passive voice of I made a mistake is I was made by mistake. In English grammar, there are so many such jokes. But come back. Na jnayate Brahma. As long as Brahma is not known, it is not na jayate. In fact, today I was typing this transliteration and I wrote na jayate Brahma. Because I know Sanskrit, as soon as I wrote that, I said, what is it? Why are they talking about Brahma being born? Jayate means born. I said, it cannot be. Then again I saw it, my small book. Oh, it is Jnayate. Jan Jayate is to be born. Na Janati or Janite means to know. As long as you don't know Brahma, no wonder this world attracts you. You are filled with desires for hundreds of things of the world. Somebody else gets it, you feel jealous. You feel so blessed and proud, though that happiness doesn't last long. For a while, you are happy. If money were to give lasting happiness, lots of rich people in this world would have been happy. But hardly anyone is happy about it. That is the truth. If talent of speaking, of writing, of singing, and so in many various other fields, if talent were to bring happiness to people, lots of people would have said, we have no sorrow at all. Other day in Bangalore, at a certain house, the servant maid came in the morning, 8 o'clock, to make breakfast. And last time also she had met me, and she very, courteously said, Swamiji, how are you? Is everything fine? I should have given her a measured answer, but I was in some mood. I said, I'm very happy. How about you? I'm very happy, I said. She smiled and looked at me. Swamiji, you are very happy because you are not married. She was also in a little mischievous mood. The lady of the house was watching, hearing. Well, maybe she said that as a bit of an exaggeration, but the truth of the matter is whether you are married or unmarried, you have agitations, anxiety, some worry. Whether you are rich or poor, you have sorrow, fear. None of these things of the world can give us happiness in a little lasting manner. All of them come and go. So please, there are certain contexts where you have to examine whether Advaita Vedanta literally means this universe is an illusion, is a myth, is a mere projection of the mind, has no reality whatsoever to it. One has to examine it at times. But let me at this moment share with you a simpler approach to this problem of reality versus unreality. Whether it exists or not, suppose the world cannot disturb you anymore. The so called pleasurable things of the world would normally arouse desire in you. The so called unpleasant, dirty, and all that, those things cause fear, abhorrence, disgust in you. So, either way, arousing desire in you or arousing disgust in you, the world generally does something to you. Does something to you means you cannot maintain your balance. You and I go on leaving or losing our balance of mind. So the simple way of appreciating this shloka is when you realize Brahma, nothing can disturb you. Others may misunderstand you to be disturbed because your body and mind may have their own dynamics. But you actually will watch the disturbance in the mind, the disturbance in the body. You will watch it and you will not identify with it. Such is the beauty of this topic. In the eyes of others, you might appear anxious about something. In the lives of Mahatmas, great Mahatmas whom we trust to be enlightened, there were many episodes when some disciples or devotees saw them apparently disturbed, and some even left them and went away, concluding that this is not a genuine Mahatma. The way he got angry yesterday, the way she wanted some gold for the ashram and asking everybody, can you get some gold for this Janmashtami? Uh, so asking for gold for the ashram? So some people would have left the lady Mahatma, but many times, sometimes it could be, so they may not be really mature, but there are instances of great Mahatmas who outwardly expressed desire, outwardly disliked somebody and scolded somebody and got angry and so on. But if you stay longer with them, you find there is a certain depth and the body, the personality goes by some old samskaras, impressions. The personality may behave because of certain factors. So, a true Mahatma outwardly may not be so easy to recognize, but inwardly, and to know his or her inward situation, you got to spend more time, and your mind has to become pure. Sage Vasishta, it seems, was conducting a Vedanta class, and this topic came. When you realize Brahma, the whole world turns out to be unreal. And the students were listening to it. Many of them were very bright. They thought about it. Yeah, our teacher has pretty much convinced us. At that time, a mad elephant came rushing towards the open classroom. Mad elephant can anytime attack somebody, lift him, and throw him by 20 feet, whereby he would break his bones. So, at the sight of the mad elephant rushing towards the classroom, everybody ran, and the very old, aged sage Vasishtha also ran. There is a story in the Vedanta literature. I don't know from which text it is, but the story is often narrated. After half an hour, thank God, the elephant goes its way, doesn't hurt anybody, and all people, all the boys and girls come back and take their seats, panting even now. And Sage Vasishtha, being much older person, comes back a bit slowly, and he is panting much more than all these boys and girls. To, to end the story, one girl raises her hand, says, "Oh Acharya, all of us are ignorant. Therefore, the mad elephant came and we were so frightened we ran away. You are illumined. You are enlightened. You are wise. Why did you run away? When you saw the elephant, you must have said, the whole world is an illusion. This elephant is part of the world, and this elephant also is an illusion. Who cares? Let the boys and girls run. They will come back after some time. I will just sit here looking up. You should have sat here only. Wasn't the elephant an illusion in your eyes? Sage Vasishtha replies, "Oh, dear student, I very much understood, very much knew that the elephant was an illusion. Then why did you run? This running business was in your eyes. I did not run. Running of Sage Vasishtha was also another illusion. Gajaha api mithya, palayanam api mithya. In Sanskrit, they call it mithya. Even though in the eyes of all, the body ran, and the body did run, but this body which ran was not real, is not real to me, he said. The students enjoyed the turn of events, how he handled the question. A good number of them were really deeply touched. And let me tell you, one or two boys might have left the ashram and gone. This is escapism, you know, calling the elephant an illusion and calling your running in fear also an illusion. And then tomorrow you may steal something, then you say that's illusion. Some other day you may behave in some in unacceptable manner. You may say, no, I'm fine, that was on an illusion. So no wonder many people do not appreciate Advaita Vedanta. That's where I said this is a very controversial shloka for people following other schools of thought, the Dvaita school of thought, especially duality. They say duality is real. Duality never goes away. Advaita Vedanta, Dvaita means two, Advaita, one. Advaita Vedanta says there comes a time when the apparent duality vanishes. You will see you are the object, you are the subject, you are everything, you are far, you are near, you are moving, you are not moving. Upanishads have said this. Ishavasya Upanishad says that supreme truth, which you can realize as your own nature, ejati na ejati. It moves It doesn't move. It is inside, it is outside. It is far, it is near. What is all these contradictory statements? Therefore, in Advaita Vedanta, we emphasize on a competent teacher guiding you. You must receive guidance from a competent teacher who will go to certain subtleties of the matter. One gross mistake that many people do when the Advaita Vedanta says the universe is unreal, they look at the stars and planets, hills and rivers, and other people, animals, birds, etc. So, are all these unreal? They exclude their presently assumed identity. Presently, the student, the seeker, is taking himself or herself to be the body. I am the body. I find that elephant very beautiful. I find this hill so charming. I find that something rotting there obnoxious. I can't bear that smell. So I, who likes something, who dislikes something, who admires something, who abhors or detests something, what about this I? People who don't understand the statement that the universe is unreal conveniently leave out this I. Ramana Maharshi comes along and says, before you ask whether the world is real or not, oh dear, ask yourself whether you, as presently you know yourself, you are real. One day you take your hand to your head, I am such a failure in life. Wait a minute, am I a failure? The mind says, of course you are. Who? When I say I am a failure, who am I? So then you find that the money you lost, the name and fame you lost, let us say, by way of elaborating failure in this, okay, in this example, I look at myself as a failure because I lost money, I lost friendship, I lost election, I lost so many things. I could not keep my promise. I behaved badly, 100 things. So all those money and fame, name, possession, they are one side of the story. But there is a certain sense of I which is like software. You need to debug it, debug the software. This software, this programming, this conditioning, this notion, the mind is at work. Masters have always said there is no Maya other than the mind. Viveka Chudamani uses the word avidya. Nahi asti avidya manasoti rikta. Mana eva avidya. So, this mind itself is to be inquired into. Maharshi Ramana says that inquire what this mind is. Don't take the mind to be an unquestionable truth. Manasam tu kim iti margane krute naiva manasam marga arjavat. If you and I become a little more patient, we are impatient now. We jump to a conclusion. And what is worse in this world, a large number of so-called intellectuals have already subscribed to some lobby, to some school, to some philosophy, to some ism, atheism or communism or uh, socialism or some ism. They've already subscribed to it. They've become a life member already. Therefore, their analysis becomes biased. They don't have a truly open mind. So when you the open mind, you inquire, leave alone that object which is attracting me. What is happening in me which gets attracted? Who is this I that is getting attracted? And in the Advaita Vedanta's realization, both the I that desires and maybe gold or silver, which I desire, both of them are discovered to be part of a certain mental projection. Therefore, it is said, Yavat najnayate Brahma. As long as you don't know Brahma, the one truth underlying both objects and subjects, one truth which is away, far, as well as near, quite by your side, as long as that Brahma is not known, your perception is of one kind. Please know Brahma, then the whole perception changes. Brahma is the Sarva Adhishtanam Advayam. Advaya, non-dual. Advaya, Advaita are synonyms. Therefore, we need to deal with our mind carefully. We need to train our mind not to get carried away by some belief. Real Vedanta doesn't ask you to subscribe to any belief. Real Vedanta says inquire, question everything. Of course, the Upanishads give you a certain direction, but Upanishads ask us to verify. If the Upanishad says Brahma is without any division, the same Upanishad says to us, we have told you, but please verify, please confirm, please check for yourself. Yavan Jnayate Brahma Sarvadishtanam Advayam. In the eighth verse now, Upadane Akhiladhare Jaganti Parameshware Sargasthiti Layan Yanti Udbudaniva Varini. A simple shloka again, and once more with a very nice metaphor. On the surface of water, because some breeze is blowing, there is some air movement or something happening inside, some gas is arising. We need not go into the science of why bubbles arise on surface of water. There are many factors. But isn't it true? Haven't all of us seen on the surface of water, bubbles rise for a while and they break and they end. New bubbles rise, stay for a while, break and end. A bubble in Sanskrit is called Budbuda. Budbudani, plural, bubbles. Varini iva. Vari means water. Jale, Udake, Ambuni, Ambasi, all are synonyms. Vari. Vari, Varini, Varini. And Varini, the word that has come here is the seventh case singular. In water or on the surface of water, bubbles, air bubbles rise and fall. Like that, this entire universe rises, stays for some time, and subsides. The author doesn't even use the singular expression jagat. He uses the word jaganti. Jaganti is not a verb. Nobody should mistake it to be like patati patataha patanti, gacchati gacchataha gacchanti. Like that, maybe jagati jagataha jaganti. Oh, no, no, no. This is a noun. Refresh your memory or look into some book which gives vibhaktis. Jagat is universe, one universe. Jagat, if it is two, jagati, ekam jagat, dve jagati, त्रीणि चत्वारि वा पंच वा षट् वा सप्त वा 3, 4, 5, 6, or any number. 3 onwards, it's called Bahuvachana. And the word for Bahuvachana is Jaganti. Jagati, Jagat, Jagati, Jaganti. Neuter, Napunsakalinga. Otherwise, Marut, Marut, Marutau, Maruta. Let's not go into more grammar. But remember, if you want to get the flavor of the Sanskrit shloka, moment you see the word Jaganti, please know it to be a Namapada, Sanjnartaka Shabda. It is a noun and it's plural. Many universes rise, sarga, stay, sthiti, second line. Laya is dissolution. Sarga, sthiti, layan, yanti. Where do they rise? Water bubbles or air bubbles rise on water. So universes, where do they rise? The author says, Parameshware, in the Supreme Lord. Vedanta is not against the idea of God, but Vedanta gives to us a very exalted understanding of God. On that plane of that exalted understanding, God, man, and everything else, anything else are not separate. God alone is all this. So what is called Brahma is also Parameshwara. Parameshware Jaganti Sargasthiti Layan Yanti. And this Parameshwara, the supreme reality, is the material cause, Upadana. What is material cause? You are making some ornaments, you use gold, the stuff of which those ornaments are made. Even Pizza Hut, I guess, advertises or they have some slogan. You will love the stuff we are made of. You will love the stuff we are made of. That can go jolly well with the Vedantic truth. You and I are actually made of Satchit Ananda and we would love that. But alas, in our ignorance, we are embracing Asat, Achit, and Anananda, that which is only an illusion, that which is not conscious, and that which is not happiness too. Sat Chit Ananda is utterly lovable. Asat, Achit, and Anananda can only tickle us, give us some happiness for a little while, and then leave us in the lurch. Padane Akhila Adhare. This entire universe is actually made of Brahma, made of God. Mundakopanishad is meant here, this famous shloka of Mundakopanishad, how a spider brings out the spider's web by itself from its own body and keeps it for some time. And then, very often we see this, the spiders suck or pull the web back to themselves. So the spider doesn't need some material from outside, from within itself. The spider doesn't have to go shopping one day before. I need to create a web, go and get some raw materials. No, the spider has everything inside. The waxy substance comes from the spider, becomes the web. These days on YouTube and so on, there are wonderful videos how a spider goes systematically creating a web. A web. So Mundakopanishad gave that example long ago. Yathornanabihi srijate grannhate cha. And that mantra in Mundakopanishad has another couple of examples. But let's stick to this. Upadana. So Brahma, the supreme truth, supreme intelligence, is itself the material cause. A potter makes pots out of clay. Clay is the material cause. The potter who has an idea what kind of pots I want to make, how big and of what shape, is the efficient cause, intelligent cause. And then he may use a potter's wheel over which he places the clay, and then as it rotates, moves his hands in such a way that it becomes a certain beautiful pot. So that wheel on which the clay is placed is called Sahakari Karana or instrumental cause. For anything in this universe to come about, to come into existence, you need material cause, you need efficient cause, you need instrumental cause. In the case of the universe, for universe to come into existence, God was the intelligence behind it all. But then was there some material other than God to create this universe? No. God was the efficient cause. God was the material cause. God Himself was the instrumental cause. There is nothing other than God. That simplifies everything. Thus, He is the Akhila Adhar, the support for everything, and He is the material for everything to come into being. Space and time also come from Him. You and I being too much into our modern education, where science says space and time are here, everything else comes and goes. Vedanta would say space and time also come and go in pure consciousness. Desha and Kala are part of Maya, it is said. In this way, this seventh mantra, this eighth mantra rather, gives to us a higher point of view towards understanding this universe. To say in one sentence, while ordinarily we believe we are in the world, Vedanta helps us understand that the world, or for that matter, the universe, is in us. The whole perception, the whole understanding is turned upside down. Like bubbles rise and fall on water, universes come and go in Brahman, and you and I actually are that Brahman. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So let me see if there is some query or comment. Okay. Hari Om Pranam Namaste. Okay. So far, no question. Questions might have risen, stayed for some time, and subsided like bubbles on water surface. Let's see if another question rises like a bubble, doesn't matter. My answer also will be like a bubble, subsides. Bubbles of questions may meet bubbles of answers. All right. Anita asked me, could you tell us more about the three causes? Yeah, remember the analogy. To make a pot, one who intelligently visualizes the pot and knows how to make it is the potter. He is called efficient cause. In Sanskrit, it is nimitta karana. Then he uses clay. In the case of the pot making, it's not like Brahman creating the universe. In the case of Brahman creating the universe, Brahman him itself is, or Brahman himself is all the three karanas. But in the case of the potter, he uses clay material, that is upadana karana, in English, material cause. And the example of potter gives us an idea of what the instrumental cause is. The wheel. The wheel is instrumental cause, called in Sanskrit sahakari karana. Though sahakari doesn't mean instrument, but in a way instrument, it helps, something that helps you do something. So nimitta karana, efficient cause, is the brain behind something coming into existence. Material cause or upadana karana is the stuff of which the pot is made or the universe is made or anything else. Then there is a third one, sahakari karana, that is instrumental cause. You need some tools, you need some machinery, you need some apparatus to bring about something. Oh, Brahma is everything. Brahma is the material cause, Brahma is the efficient cause, Brahma is the instrumental cause, Upadana, Nimitta, and Sahakari Karana. So, because other than Brahma, there doesn't exist anything. Brahma alone is, Brahma alone was, Brahma alone will be. This is how the Vedanta goes about its teaching. That's why it is called Advaita Vedanta. Other than Brahma, there doesn't exist anything. So, sure. Next Friday again, we shall